Hello students, welcome to La Excellence. Welcome to the 33rd weekly magazine where we'll be covering from 8th October to 14th October 2017. And as I have promised you that we will be releasing NCERT videos, we have uploaded them at laex.in/testprep. First, you have to sign up and then register for the course, right? Now, I just want to explain you how exactly the course is planned and how you can make use of this course. First important thing you all have to remember is when we say geography NCERT books, you need some basics to understand geography. For example, if I just tell you that Coriolis force means it moves to the right in the northern hemisphere and left in the southern hemisphere, you just remember the fact and you can't apply it properly at every stage. This is what I have seen in different students. Even when we ask these students to draw this right and left, when we talk about high pressure to low pressure in different regions, it is very difficult because conceptually they are very poor. Because of this, the ambition of this particular NCERT series is to spend initially some time to understand what is the basics of geography before applying them. And for this, what we have done, 11th standard physical geography NCERT book we have taken first. Here, every line has certain concepts that needs to be explained. Physical geography, at least for 9 to 10 hours, we have just read only physical, and that too within physical, we are only looking at geomorphology. And then we have spent some 5 to 6 hours only on climatology, right? So like this, I have tried to arrange the entire content in a sequence. First, you will see geomorphology basics, climatology basics, oceanography basics, and biogeography basics. We will try to complete all these 4 concepts one after the other. Once these 4 concepts are covered, the next step what we will be taking is actually with respect to taking 6th standard NCERT book, where some basic information we have covered already, but still some basic information whichever is left will be seen. 7th standard actually talks about some basic information with respect to geography in detail, but the actual one starts at 8th standard. In 8th standard NCERT book, we will be seeing resources that are present in the world and India as well. And you have 12th standard human geography book, which also talks about the resources which are present in the world. So 8th and 12th standard human geography you will be reading together. Then 9th standard is about Indian physical geography. 11th standard is again about Indian physical geography. So we will take 9th and 11th. You know that 11th has 2 books and 12th has 2 books. So 9th we will take first and then immediately we will read 11th Indian physical geography. Then 10th standard is about Indian economic geography. 12th, one book which is left is about Indian economic geography. With this, if we can read one book at a time and try to see what are the important areas that are present, it is more than enough. And for this, we have covered the entire lecture in almost 45 hours. And whenever you people want to prepare for geography, you can actually purchase this course and read for that particular time. And my other request for you is just try to read this before reading NCERT books so that it will be easy. And we strongly believe that every line in NCERT is important. When I take about polity, apart from the NCERT books, you will be reading Lakshmikant. When I talk about economy, apart from the NCERT books, you will be also reading Ramesh Singh. But for geography, majority of the students don't read any other book. There is no supplement like Spectrum also available for that. And if you observe, every line in geography is more than enough for you to answer any question. But the only problem is, you don't know how exactly they have used this particular statement in the exam. So here we have spent at least 35 to 40 hours solidly in thinking about how to frame different things and how conceptually you have to understand the entire NCERT books. If that is fine, if you are already well versed, no need to worry. But if you need any support for your preparation with respect to NCERT geography, it is available at www.laex.in/testprep. Please visit this, register and see. Initially, we have uploaded the basics of geomorphology, now climatology. Within a week's time, you will be getting almost all the videos, and the 10th and 12th economic geography videos we are going to provide at the end. So it will be in an order. My request for you is please read in that order so it makes sense for you. Is that fine? How much time every video clip is there is also available there. So plan accordingly and you can finish the lecture. So every day if you can sit for half an hour or 1 hour and try to complete one particular topic that we have dealt. So it will be easy for you. Right guys? So I hope this is clear. I'll make a video on how exactly you have to use with the same content over a period of time once we release all the videos. So till that time, my request for you is try to register and try to see how exactly you have the content. And if you need any more content with respect to NCERTs, just let us know. We'll try to bring that as well. Right guys? So if this is clear, let's quickly move to what are the important areas that we need to read in this particular magazine. So the essay of the week is with respect to women-led development for inclusive growth. You have to talk political empowerment, economic empowerment, almost at every level to ensure that there is inclusive growth, skill development, how the policies are being framed. All this needs to be explained. In India's IPC section, we have one of the most vague and cruel form of policies in the name of tradition, especially with respect to women and their body. You're all aware that according to the Hindu or Indian Marriage Act, anyone can marry only if they are 18 years and above. Unfortunately, we have seen certain places where the cultural traditions overlap and they say that marriage is allowed after 14 years or above 14 years as well. And sometimes it is 16 years and above. In different traditions, it keeps on varying. And the IPC section, criminal procedure of our country, do not void this particular marriage. They say that if the woman is willing to continue with that marriage after 18 years of age, she can continue. If not, she has to complain within 2 years. So, without her consent, whatever work has been done, they want to continue it legitimately, even if it is against the fundamental principles on which certain acts have been formed in the country. And our section 375, there is a clause which says that if a man has sexual intercourse with his wife who is below 18 years of age, is not considered rape till now. Supreme Court recently said that If she is not married and if anything happens, then she can go to court and say it's rape. But if she is married and even if she doesn't have consent, she has to accept because she has given permission about her body through marriage to her husband. So Supreme Court also did not talk about marital rape after 21 years of age or after 18 years of age. Supreme Court is also talking about marital rape only of 15 to 18 and on humanitarian basis. And we don't know what is humanitarian basis for women who are above 18 years. So these are some of the complexities which are there in our constitution, or if we talk about the legal system. We talk about women empowerment. We just saw an essay to write about women empowerment and what sort of empowerment we look at when you make woman commodity by just using her at the will of male. So these are some of the major issues that you need to understand. Karnataka government has actually taken a commendable step where it has said that if any woman or child is married before 18 years of age, then the marriage is void. To some extent, it's fair enough, because when you talk about women after 18 years of age, if they are willing to continue, let them continue, but mostly it will be by force. If everyone is aware that after 18 years of age, even if you marry before, there is a possibility that the marriage will be called void and it is a criminal offense, then the child marriages itself will stop. So governments need to take effective measure to curb child marriages. So it is not only through some acts or bills being passed and debates being made, but improper implementation of that will not have any relevance. UPSC will not ask you any question, but when it comes to essays, you can actually use this particular thing. Supreme Court has said that sexual intercourse by a man with his wife who is below 18 years of age is considered as rape. So that is important for us. You can quote this example and you can give Karnataka government example which has actually said that it will be null and void if you marry anyone before 18 years of age. The caste hierarchy in the country, if we have to remove it, then the basic structure, that is, caste was associated with some particular employment. If you can break this, and whoever has the capacity to reach to the top, whoever has the capacity to work hard, whoever has the required skill should get the job. This should be the mantra of the new India that we look for. Kerala has taken a first step by selecting people from different religions, especially Dalit community, and based on their skills, if they are able to chant these mantras, then they are eligible for becoming the priest in temples. So it's very, very important for us to quote this example when we are talking about caste system in the country. India and European Union have actually planned to improve its relationship, especially with respect to trade, through BTIA, right? Bilateral Trade and Investment Treaty, where if this comes up, the advantage will be Indian investments will be allowed in Europe and European investments will increase in India. And Europe has some advantage when it comes to automobiles and other areas. India has some advantage when it comes to pharmacies and internet service providing, especially data management or service providing to the banks, or if you are actually looking at any IT related services. This will definitely help at a time when US is actually looking at itself to develop its own resources to provide job to more Americans and not to allow job to go to other countries. But here the problem is European Union is saying that we will require more space for automobiles and other companies or other products which has more capacity to enter into Indian market. That is wherever they have advantage. Like Germany has advantage in automobile. So Germany is pushing for opening up of India's market for German automobiles. Unfortunately, they are not allowing our people to go. The reason for this is if our people can go, then we can go there and provide services, and this will improve our job opportunities. And over a period of time, you can get investment back, remittances back, and Indian service sector will also be working effectively through this. And the second important problem with respect to India-European Union relationship is with respect to data security. India, if we are talking about services or if we are talking about banking services, usually what happens, banking function takes place in UK, but service to that bank will be provided from India. So if there is any issues, right, once the payment and transaction is done, upgrading into the system and trying to analyze the data, all this is being done from India. Several banks accept this. Unfortunately, European Union has not said India is data secure. They say that if you release data or give data to India, there is a possibility that the data will be leaked. And they give the information by saying that India do not have any laws which say that India is data secure. With this clause, Europe has successfully blocked several banks to provide services to India. India has requested them to provide data secure status to India, and they are requesting India to ensure that an act is passed to protect the citizens. Unfortunately, India has not passed anything, and at a time when the debate is going on in a country with respect to Aadhaar and also digital security and others, it's important for the country to make strict rules to ensure that the data is secure, and this would benefit India in the long run. This is what we see as the most important issue with respect to India and European Union as of now. The next issue is again with respect to simultaneous polls. So as it is coming continuously, you need not worry about this much. Whatever factual information is required and what you feel is important, we have just made notes of it and given. Not everything is important for you because until and unless it happens, we don't know. But if there is a question whether simultaneous polls is possible or not, at that time, Election Commission has said that if every political party accepts for this and if they come to consensus on this and if certain modifications can be made, then yes, simultaneous elections is possible, right? This is what the Election Commission has also said. Recently, in one of the survey conducted by different NGOs, it has come to the conclusion that suicide is one of the major cause of death among the age group of 15 to 29. It may be because of excessive stress as they don't have support system. It may be because of loss of autonomy, mental retardness, thinking that they are a burden, and the treatment is too high. All this is actually leading people to commit suicide. And this is a social problem and you need to change attitude of the people. You should help them to get some sort of job opportunities, provide some skills, motivate them. At the same time, health system has to be cheaper so that it would be easy for them to access healthcare. And there should be one single video which will provide health and social care system for those people who are not in a position to get support from outside. All these measures look fine, but for a country like India with such a huge population, if this can occur at the municipal level or at the panchayat level, it would be more beneficial rather than taking measures at the central level. To boost Skill India, Sankalp and Strive schemes are coming up. Sankalp stands for Skills Acquisition and Knowledge Awareness for Livelihood Promotion, and Strive, Skill Strengthening for Individual Value Enhancement. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved the two World Bank supported schemes, and this will be implemented in the country to improve the skills. You should be aware that Sankalp and Strive is associated with Skill in. Whenever Global Development Index, Global Hunger Index and all these comes, usually we keep comparing ourselves with other countries and try to see how exactly India is performing. But usually what you need to remember with this is, whenever you come across these, you should know Global Hunger Index and who has released it? International Food Policy Research Institute, right? Something of this sort is enough. And if you're looking at economy point of view, GHI ranks countries on a 100 scale. 0 is the best score, 100 is the worst. And hunger index on the basis of undernourishment, child mortality, child wasting, that is low weight for height, and child stunting, low height for age. All this is actually considered to say whether there is hunger in a country or not, right? So it's very, very important for us to consider this from prelims point of view. Rank usually they don't ask you, but what is used for measure is asked. And in means, whenever you talk about essays, especially when you talk about child development or women development, you can give these examples. With respect to Rohingya issue, Supreme Court has asked the central government to be cautious and take action which balances their rights as well. According to Indian Constitution, it is the duty of Indian state to guarantee or to protect the life and liberty of every human being, whether he is Indian or not. But the point is, when it comes to national security, how exactly we have to deal is the scenario. Yes, there are Rohingya refugees who are coming now, but there are Rohingya refugees who have come before as well. When everything was normal also they have come. So government called them to be illegal migrants. And few Rohingya refugees have taken up arms against Myanmar. There is a possibility that they may take up arms against us as well. And there is a possibility that these groups may join hands of Nagas and other insurgency groups present in Northeast, and they may also create trouble. So all this makes us to think twice whenever we talk about Rohingya issue. So on the basis of central government action, we have to wait and see how exactly we need to look at this particular issue. There is a debate going on in the country always from the economic survey, and also before that as well, when Modi government had actually promised to provide some money in the form of some basic income to everybody's account. And the economic survey debated whether we should go for universal basic income or not. And they had actually debated the positives and negatives of universal basic income. In some points, they argued that are we going to give money freely to these people, and what if they don't work? Will they become lazy? On the other hand, we also have to ensure that some basic income or basic support is required, else people will not come out of poverty. Through all this debate, IMF has also made its own survey. IMF usually do not allow countries to provide money to their people freely, but still IMF has recommended that India can go up to 2,600 rupees per year as universal basic income, right? So if this can be done, then we can actually bring out people out of poverty. Then again, the debate will be, poverty line itself is 200, 300. And if you can't reach this through the universal basic income, what is the use? And if we are giving universal basic income, then are you going to remove other subsidies like food security and all? Or will it add additionally to the exchequer of our country? And recently you know that government has gone for 2 lakh crore loan waiver for the banks, 7 lakh crore for roads. So if all this is taking place, how exactly should we plan? Right? These are some of the concerns which we usually observe with respect to universal basic income. Please remember, there are no solutions for this, and these are debates that are going on. Until and unless they are debates, even we have to give you only the debates that are present on either side. And I'm actually giving you arguments in favor of universal basic income and arguments against universal basic income. So you can just look at this and add. But the point is, what decision you should take will vary. So that has to be a conscious effort, right? Then let us take disaster. With hurricanes, cyclones, droughts affecting different parts of the world, India has seen wonderful monsoon this particular year, at least in most of the regions which were considered to be drought prone, has got rainfall. And there are some areas, yes, where droughts are still seen. And when you consider Africa, Africa is affected severely by drought. United States has seen good rainfall. China has seen good rainfall because of this. And the rainfall is so extreme that it has led to floods in some parts and it has led to droughts in other parts. So, on the International Day of Disaster Risk Reduction, a debate is going on when all these are happening. What exactly should be the international community's role? And should we take special measures, and should we establish a separate international body to ensure that they look after these disaster management things and also help the countries whichever are not in a position to tackle disasters by empowering them, are some of the questions which we usually see, right? So whenever Women Day is celebrated or whenever Disaster Day is celebrated, usually you see articles on them, and that should be enough. Central government is actually talking about job creation, and several people are coming up with several recommendations for creation of job. Economic slowdown is taking place across the world, and to revive it itself, the government has spent or is spending a lot of money. And fiscal stimulus, that is whenever government spends more, usually you observe that some sort of job creation can be expected. But along with that, there are 6 steps that can be taken up. One is with respect to industrial trade policy, where you have to come up with a new industrial policy to remove certain anomalies. I want to tell you that usually wherever you go, raw materials will be taxed less, and the finished products over a period of time, if you look, it will increase, right? But unfortunately, in India, what is happening? Raw materials are taxed more and finished products are taxed less. So this is creating a lot of problem for the people who have to start businesses where more employment is required. So they are cutting down on the salaries because they have to pay more tax for the products. So this needs to be removed. Usually this inverted duty tax structure is there for certain raw materials which we usually import from outside. Aluminium, steel, electronics are the industries which are affected by this. And there should be special packages for those industries which are labor incentive. For example, you take the case of textile, right, which requires more people to work, are the areas which we have to look. There should be cluster development to support job creation in medium and small scale industries, right? And then urban development, whenever we plan for, we should allow certain areas within urban areas for development of industries itself, so that the industries can come in those areas and that they can provide good job opportunities. and spilling can take place closer to the clusters wherever you have the industry set up. For example, you set up an industry in a particular locality and I give all the permissions and facilities required for industries to come up, and whatever spread happens, it will spread across this. So urban development ministry should be careful. At the same time, public investment in health, education, skills, police, judiciary, if it increases, usually this also will take up more jobs. In a country like India, where a lot of facilities are required at several level and services are required, government alone can provide lot of job opportunities to these people. So these are some of the things which we need to see with respect to this week's magazine. Right, guys? I hope all this is clear. I'll just give you where exactly you have to log in for geography NCERT books. Over a period of time, it may take 1 or 2 months more. We will be launching other NCERT books. So you can actually log in for magazine or geography NCERT book in this site. And if you have any queries, you can message me anytime. Right? Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.